In this video, I cover useful 9-ball break cheat codes for all table sizes. The purpose for the video isn't to teach you how to cheat. It is to make you more aware how some people might attempt to cheat against you. Also, sometimes you can take advantage of how your opponent is racking or how the balls tend to sit on a particular table, but only if you know how to read the rack. And some of the cheat codes are simply just good racking and breaking advice and tips. The videos, articles, and other resources at the link in the video description and pinned comment cover recommended breaking strategy for all rules variations of 9-ball. In this video, I will focus on the standard 9-ball side break with the 1 racked on the spot. With a standard 9-ball side break, the main goal is to pocket the wing ball and get a look at the 1 after the break. The second row ball sometimes banks cross-side, and the back ball sometimes banks straight back. Here, Jeffrey DeLuna pockets 5 balls on the break.
Watch the action of the cue ball. Great action on that cue ball. Look at this break. What a break.
Did you notice that the expected balls went in as diagrammed? Here, I have a 7-foot bar box laid over a 9-foot table to show that the wing ball goes on any table size. Here are some examples with multiple balls pocketed. The side break can be very effective. To pocket the wing ball successfully and consistently, it is important that there are no gaps in the L shape through the 1, 4, 9, 7. If there are any gaps in this ball path, the 4 will not get out of the way fast enough for the 5 to go forward to the corner. Here, I'm artificially creating a gap between the 1 and 4 with a piece of tissue. All the other balls are touching. Again, any gap in the L path causes the wing ball to go high. The same occurs with a gap between the 4 and 9, and the 9 and 7. If the L ball path is gap-free, the wing ball goes easily. Here's a cheat code. If you want to read a rack smartly, check to see if there are any gaps in the rack. If the L path is solid on the right side, break from the left side of the table. And if the L path is solid on the left side, break from the right side of the table. Here's an important cheat code, which is really just good advice. Use only as much power as you can control. You want to leave the cue ball as close as possible to the center of the table to have the best chance at a shot after the break. An accurate square hit on the 1 is much better than an inconsistent and non-square hit with more power. If you lose control over the cue ball trying to get more power, you will often not like what you face after the break. When the cue ball hits the large effective mass of the rack, it bounces back like this, even with no bottom spin on the cue ball. To squat the cue ball near the center of the table, where you have the best chance for a shot after the break, you need slight top spin. Did you see the top spin slow the backward motion of the cue ball? Another important good advice cheat code is to control the 1 ball so if you do squat the cue ball in the center of the table, you will have an easy shot after the break. The advantage of a soft break is that it is easy to control the cue ball and get a look at the 1 in the upper corner, or in the side, or in the lower corner. You can also use more speed and still get a look in the upper right corner. And with even more speed, you can get a look in the other corner. On a bar box, this approach is easy without too much power. With a cut break, where you hit the one less full, aiming more to the right, you can pocket the one on the side, but it can be difficult to guarantee a shot at the two after the break. Here, I got a little lucky with a good look at the two. Here's a bar box example. Sometimes the one will go cross corner, but you don't usually want this because if it hangs instead, you will have an easy look at the one after the break. Here, I have no look at the two. When you pocket the 9 on the break in 9-ball, you win the game. This is called a golden break. Here's one from world champion Shane Van Boening. Here, with the 9 on the spot and breaking from the box, the best approach is to use a cut break to pocket the 1 in the side. He also controls the cue ball to carry him into the 9, giving him a chance for a golden break win. Either in the corner or in the side, this time by Sanchez Ruiz. The downside of carrying into the 9 is you can also scratch. Did you notice how both breaks were close to scratching? I'll cover some cheat codes for getting a golden break in a later section. Pattern racking is where you position selected balls in certain places in the rack to achieve some desired outcome. This is a true cheat code since it is illegal under the official rules of pool, although some tournaments don't enforce pattern racking rules. At the link in the video description and pinned comment, I show many different pattern racking tricks you should be aware of so an opponent can't take advantage of your lack of knowledge. If playing under rules that allow pattern racking, and if there is no 3-point rule that requires a fast speed break, and if a racking template is being used where the rack is tight every time, you might like the following cheat code. Corey Deuel is one of the most creative breakers in the world. He has invented and perfected several unique breaking strategies, including the soft break approach. He pockets the wing ball and leaves an easy starting shot at the 1 on the side and the 2 in the corner, leaving an easy 3-9 combo for the early win. Here's an example from another tournament where he did the same thing. With a good rack and a little practice, this can also easily be done on a 9-foot table. In Vent, the video encyclopedia of 9-ball and 10-ball, Bob Jewett and I were able to get the technique to work fairly consistently. But pattern racking like this, with the 2 and 3 placed in the same positions with every rack, is illegal, according to the WPA official rules of pool. Some tournaments might not enforce this, and some players and refs are unaware of the strategy, but it really should not be allowed. Hopefully, this and other videos will help make more people aware. Now let's look at what happens with the side break at different cut angles. The wing ball does not go with a large cut angle break. A cut break tends to send the wing ball below the corner. And if the one is back cut, the wing ball can come up high. As we saw earlier, if there are any gaps in the L path in the rack, the wing ball does not go. Now let's look at some other gaps important to know about. Any gap in the 1-2-4 ball path forces the wing ball to go below the corner. The reason is the solid 1-3-9-6 path moves the 6 before the 4, allowing the 4 to go more forward. Here's a real cheat code for pocketing the 9 on the break. Here, there is a tissue gap between the 7 and 9, and there is also a natural gap between the 6 and 7. Bob is breaking from the same side of the table as the gap behind the 9, in this case on the 7 side of the table. The ideal line to break along will depend on the gap size and other gaps in the rack, but in general, try shooting along a line just past the first diamond. Again, watch the 9-ball.
Well, I got lucky on that.
So if you are racking for an opponent, make sure you get the balls behind the 9 as tight as possible. And if you are inspecting a rack you are about to break, and you see a gap behind the 9 on one side, break from that side of the table. At the link in the video description and pinned comment, I demonstrate and give lots of advice for how to get a tight rack. This is probably one of the most important cheat codes of all, because if the rack is not tight, a lot of the advice in this video does not apply. Here are some of the basics. An important requirement for getting a good break is racking the balls tightly. Here's one technique using a standard wooden racking triangle. Notice how Bob removes the 1 so he can better find the foot spot center position. Also notice how Bob rotates the loose outer balls inward to help them better rest against the others. Once things look good, push the rack forward and tilt it up to pull it away. Here's another effective technique. Notice how I first find the position near the foot spot where the 1 ball wants to sit naturally. Then I push the other balls and rack around the 1 so it stays in this position. I also push down on the other balls to help them settle against the surrounding balls. This section presents some good advice related to strategy after the break. The Video Encyclopedia of 9-Ball and 10-Ball, or VENT, covers 9-ball strategy in detail, so if you want to learn more, check it out. I'll just cover some basic examples here. Generally, it is a bad idea to shoot a risky offensive shot like this Massé shot attempt at the 1. Against any decent opponent, I just sold out the game. Although, with a kick like this, where I have a system to give me an accurate aim, the offensive play is smart. Here, an offensive shot at the 1-9 combo might be the best option. You have a chance to pocket the combo for the win, and you might get lucky.
Well, I got lucky on that.
And if you know how to jump, sometimes a jump shot is a good choice after the break. Here's another example. Sometimes a safety is a good play after the break. I had lots of balls to hide behind on that one. Here's another example. And when you don't see any good offensive or safety options, a push-out is the only play. Here, I plan to push out to a jump shot because I have confidence shooting them. First, I visualize the line where I want to leave the cue ball, and then I use the rail to help control the push-out speed. My opponent decides to let me shoot it. I'm aiming it carefully because I think I have a chance to make it. Again, VENT covers everything you need to know about racking, breaking, offensive and defensive strategy, run-out principles, aiming systems, advanced techniques, and much more. And if you want to take a deep dive into 8-ball instead, check out the Video Encyclopedia of 8-ball. VEB teaches you everything you need to know to master this popular and beautiful game. Stay tuned for my next video where I will show and analyze a bunch of bar box 9-ball runouts I attempted during the recording session for this video. In the meantime, lots of good resources for learning more about 9-ball break technique and strategy can be found via the links in the video description and pinned comment. Good luck with your game from Dr. Dave.